26 people have been killed in violence in KwaZulu-Natal. This was the latest death toll from Premier Sihle Zikalala, who was addressing a virtual media briefing on the unrest in the province. Zikalala has warned that the province should not descend into its violent past. Political violence in the 1990s saw scores of people killed in the province. Let's go now to that province. SABC News reporter Jade Lee-Pauls has been on the streets of KwaZulu-Natal. We're live to her now. Very good afternoon to you, Jade. What are you seeing?
A very good afternoon to you, Nzinga. Well, we've been coming to you live from this factory just behind me, a fertilizer factory here in Konubia, linking to Umhlanga Ridge. And we've seen this factory being looted as well as being torched by the looters. And on the far left-hand side, Nzinga, there's another factory. I'm also told that it's a fertilizer factory that is burning near a sugarcane field. And I'm also told that the looters were there and they tried also to get in just across from this particular factory where we are coming to you live from. There is a macro store and police have had their hands full. We've seen several taxis trying to make their way here, trying to get to the macro store to loot, but the police were hot in their heels and stopped them, many being turned away. Also, civilian cars that we've been seeing coming down this road just to suss out what exactly is taking place, because what tends to happen at these particular malls is that once the looting starts, many people from across the districts, across these parts of the area where they are stationed and where they reside, they tend to flock in with their vehicles and try and also jump on the back end of this and loot. But we'll be coming to you. The fire departments have had their hands full for the part of this morning trying to douse the flames here. It is a fertilizer factory, so dangerous chemicals that are being distributed into the air, and they have been on the grounds here making sure that looters do not have access into the macro mall, that the macro building that is just on the opposite side of this particular building. And this is basically what's happening here. I'm just going to step out of shot, and Norman and Hlapo behind the lens can show you there that fire truck that has been stationed there. There is a water pipe that is leading to that fire truck, and there has been 2 fire trucks on scene trying to put out this particular blaze. On the far right-hand side on your visuals, there's also a building there. I'm told that this is a building, a clothing store, and they are also trying to make sure that the embers do not catch on that roof and this building starts to start burning. But as you can see, commuters are still making their way, trying to suss out what exactly is happening. That is a dead end at the bottom of the road there. So most people that are coming here are trying to see if the looters have started arriving and possibly also jump back on the bandwagon. And Zinga, when we arrived here this morning, there was also a body that was discovered. When I was chatting to police, they did tell me that this body had been laying here since the night. It's apparently one of the suspected looters that got into an altercation. We're not yet sure who exactly killed this man. We're still trying to get information on the ground. Police were investigating. They cordoned off that particular area, but what we are being told right now is that this was a suspected looter, Nzinga.
Jade Lee-Pauls giving us an update from KwaZulu-Natal there. Thanks for that. So SABC News does have reporters spread out across provinces where unrest is occurring. Let's go now to our reporter Mahlako Komane. She's monitoring the situation in the Vaal in Gauteng. Very good afternoon to you, Mahlako. What are you seeing?
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon to you, Nzinga, and the viewers at home. We are in the Vaal, we're in Smoking currently, and we understand that you just look at the visuals. We're actually driving because it's not safe. There are no police officers that are controlling this looting spree. You'll see just this is what's been happening. People are, it's a shopping spree of a looting spree of sorts. People are doing what they want. I think police have sort of given up, if you will call it that. We also understand that at this Booking Plaza, they've just opened up the ShopRite that's there. Looting is taking place there. Earlier on, we were at the Everton Mall as well. It was quite a big mall that was being looted from last night. You'll see here, people are even looting where builders, these building shops as well. People are taking whatever it is that they can take. I mean, we saw a man with a whole a carcass of a pig earlier on. You also see here, I'm just going to just drive a little bit slower, and Herbert will just give you this gentleman in front of us with this piece of meat. Butcheries are also, they're not immune to this. People are taking meat, mealie meals. We've seen people driving in, the young and the old alike, and, school-going children as well, part of looting. There's no one that is giving order to anyone. People are coming in taxis, they're coming with bags, they're running into the shop, right? It seems like, there's I wouldn't call it a syndicate as per se, but it seems like there's a form of communication that's happening. When we heard as well that Sebokeng Plaza was looted, we saw people coming in with their motor vehicles as well, saying, have they opened up this shop? Have they opened up that shop? We've also seen people with beds, taking beds as well out of, the various shops that you would find at these shopping complexes here. Nothing is safe. There's also a medical practice as well here at this Sebokeng Plaza that's also been looted as well. There's this prime meat butchery. One man asked us, have they opened prime meat? Have they opened prime meat? He drove here to also loot. People have time here. There seem to be no law enforcement that is doing their job in terms of at least trying to. We've seen about 2-3 cars, just, police vehicles just driving and doing whatever it is that they want. We also saw there's a taxi rank here in this Sebokeng Plaza as well. And people are, doing what they want. There's a car right in front of us as well that has tiles, we see. It seems not to be able to carry the load of the tiles that are here. I'm just going to move because obviously we have to drive as well as, try and get those shots. I'm just going to move a little bit faster. You also see here, these are office chairs as well that have been taken, bags. Everybody's doing what they want here. As you can see, everybody's here. It seems this whole township is here in Sebokeng, having a free ride of people's businesses.
Okay, Matlako, have you been able to speak to people? We've obviously been saying that the protest that we're seeing began as one thing in KwaZulu-Natal and seemed to have morphed into something else, descended into a lot of violence. Jade Lee also was just telling us about bodies that have been found, over 20 people who have died in KwaZulu-Natal. What are people saying to you there?
There have been some community members, once they realized that we're media, that have come up to us expressing their concerns as to what is it that's going to happen next after this is finished, after they've looted everything that they can loot. Nzinga, I'm just going to show you right now. As I told you, they've just opened the shop right as well as a butchery. We have these gentlemen here that have taken bribe packs and they've also stolen that. But when we spoke to people saying that their biggest concern is what happens after this, where are people going to work, what is it that is going to be done in terms of jobs, getting complexes or businesses back into these into this particular township, in terms of people getting employed and getting jobs. It seems to be a concern with some of the people here, but not necessarily everyone here is concerned about that. When we speak to people in terms of politics, people don't really seem to know exactly what it is that they're looting for. But the biggest concern amongst looters here is, is something open? Are we able to loot? What is the next shop that we will be able to loot? Seems to be elements of criminality that have just taken course. Like I said, that we've seen people literally driving in with their cars, coming into saying, have they opened this? Is this shop now already opened? Can we go in? The first place that people go to is the liquor stores, because almost every complex here, shopping complex, has some sort of liquor store. It's the first thing that they try, and not they try, they actually they loot, then they target the grocery stores. It seems to be that those are the popular places, as well as the hardware stores. As I said, building supplies, your cement, anything that they can get their hands on, they will be taking. As you'll see here, there's meat. We're just going to pass through that. Butchery is also quite popular, but it doesn't seem that there's any political protest, if you want to call it that, but rather it seems like the idea here is what can I get, how fast can I get it, how quickly can I get it, how much of it can I get.
Kumane, thanks so much for that, giving us an update there from the Val. Let's now cross to our